Look at all this loot! DJ, none for you!
Give me the ping! Oh yes, much better. Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and I've received yet another dubious package from Out of Darts. Pretty sure I know what's in here, but knowing him, he may have thrown all sorts of other stuff in here. So I'm gonna open it up, and we will take a look. Stickers! He has sent me stickers and business cards and stuff. Crinkly noise. Apologize to those of you with earphones for the crinkly noise. It is, in fact, what I thought it would be. It should be... Yes. It is, in fact, a worker phoenix in all of its magnificent glory. I did not have one of these, and he asked if I wanted to review it, and I most certainly do. Glad I have the angled magazines now. So, I'm gonna throw a battery in this, and I'm gonna take it to the range. Right, I'm here on the range, and as you might have noticed in the intro, I have not one, but two Phoenoxen. Surely that's the plural of Phoenix. I got the first one, was sent to me by Out of Darts, and it was lovely, but I didn't have quite the right battery for it, and I really wanted a second one of the blasters, so I went ahead and ordered a second one, and actually paid for it. Only the first one's free, and then got brand new batteries for both of them, and I'll go over what batteries I got when we get back to the shop. But luckily, I also already had the right magazines, because these take the canted magazines, and they come with the 10 rounders, but you go through 10 rounds real quick on full auto. Fortunately, when they were on sale on Net of Strike, I bought half a dozen of the longer 18 round angled magazines, so we've got plenty to go. So yeah, I'm gonna plink. Let's just plink. So well with the one hand. Oh. I got the 50. Yeah, they are lovely. They fire beautifully. I'm shooting the Adventure Force half darts, of course, because they're fantastic. And yeah, I have yet to have a single feed issue with any of them. The spin up on the motors is fast enough that the dual stage trigger isn't an issue at all. You can adjust the rate of fire and only reload a mag and fire it at a lower rate of fire, and then I'll reload another one and slowly increase it as I fire and see if you can actually tell. Right, we have a fresh magazine. This time I've got the rate of fire turned down considerably slower. We'll see if it's really noticeable. Decidedly noticeable at that rate of fire, but very, very controllable. And as you see, I got the last two bottles, so I can hit stuff with it. Let's try starting super low and then revving it up as I dump the mag in and see how that works. Right, fresh magazine, other blaster. It's currently, the pusher is all the way off, so I can pull the trigger and it won't fire, because the adjustment knob will actually turn the pusher off entirely. And we're gonna turn it on and then just slowly dial it up, and then just for fun as I dump this mag. That's neat. I'll probably only ever run it at max speed, because at max speed it's still very controllable. All right. That's the plinking, that's the pinging. Let's talk about the stuff after I clean up this mess. Right, time for some FIPs, because I know how much you love your FIPs. First one we're going to test is with no rev. I'm going to pull the trigger as fast as I can. It's a dual stage trigger, but I'm just going to pull it and fire it and see what kind of an FPS we get when we don't give it time to rev. Then I will fire one where I give it time to rev, and then I will do a full mag dump. So here we go. 133. That's pretty cool. Now, giving it time to rev. 153. So gained about 20 FPS just by giving it a little bit more time to rev. Let's try a full mag dump and see what we kind of get. All right, 10 rounds. We'll see what happens. Interesting. So the first one was very low. I think it came in at 100, and after that, they were all in the high 149, 155. I think I got a couple of duplicates at 155. So once they get moving, they're good to go. So that first shot might be a little low if you don't give it time, which could be a problem. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. Right, and now for some blather. So this is the Worker Phoenix. You've probably all seen pictures of them or whatnot. They are kind of an oversized woozy, as it were. There are a number of significant differences, though. It's definitely not a ripoff, unlike that other clear version. It's very clearly similar, but has a number of very significant and important differences. First of all, it is a 3-stage system using the Worker small wheels and their 130 motors, I believe. It then uses the standard hobby gearbox motor that we've seen in most of Worker's stuff, their strife kits and all of that. It does use those green switches for the pusher motor because it's only the one motor and it's lower current, but then for the actual rev motor, they do have a full arm run in there, which is nice because 6 motors are going to pull a lot more current than that one pusher motor is. There is then a PWM up here in the front, a dial, which is what controls the rate of fire on our pusher. Part of the reason that the thing is so large, because there is some dead space up in here, is because of the size of the battery compartment. They give you a massive battery compartment, and that is why it is so much larger. They definitely could have made it svelter, smaller, like the Woozy is, or some of the other really small form factors we see, but you would have ended up with a much smaller battery capacity. It does have a standard Nerf stock attachment point, and then it uses the standard Worker barrel on the front, so you can attach their suppressors or any of their other gizmos up there. It's got Picatinny rail down here for a foregrip or a sight or a lighter, wherever you want. Picatinny rail on top. It's got it all. It's really a nice little package. And what's cool is it comes fully wired. You don't have to do any of the wiring. It comes fully functional out of the box. Comes with a 10-round magazine, which fits in the grip really nicely. The one complaint I do have is that the mag release is not as ambidextrous as it could be, but it's not as bad as it could be. It's clearly designed to use your thumb to release, and it will drop the mag when you push it. Left-handed, it's a little bit trickier, but you can reach up and get it with your finger, your trigger finger, but it's a little bit more awkward, but it is doable. So that's my one mild complaint. The fact that the PWM is up in the front. At first I thought that was a weird place to put it, but then it occurred to me if you're holding it like this, like you often would with an Uzi, you have the adjustment right there and it's actually kind of convenient. I also prefer it up there than sticking out on the side somewhere, because it would have been on one of the two sides and that would have been even less ambidextrous. So having it centered in the middle is actually really nice. So that's kind of all of the features. It is using 130 style motors, so if you want to upgrade to more powerful motors, you can. Same with the pusher. That's something that I will probably upgrade. I'll probably leave these as the flywheel motors because it's coming in at right around 150, which is perfect for our wars. But I would like to get a higher rate of fire. Right now, the maximum rate of fire is what I would like my lowest rate of fire to be. I would like to be able to pop off 3 rounds really, really snappy, and this won't do a really snappy 3-round burst. So I'll probably replace that with a higher RPM motor just so I can get a higher rate of fire, but because I've got this, I can still turn it down to roughly the rate of fire that I'm getting now, which I really, really like. Now, as I mentioned, they do take the canted magazines, the angled magazines, which is unfortunate if you have a whole loadout full of the straight ones, because they will not even fit in the blaster. They do have a different geometry and it won't even fit unless you were to grind down part of this back one. You might be able to fit it in, but I don't know that it would feed it well. I want to say Out of Darts did that and that it did work, question mark. Check out his video for further evidence, but it definitely works with the angled magazines, and I got a bunch of them cheap on NF Strike. They might still be on NF Strike, so you might check and see if you can get some cheap angled magazines. But yeah, Out of Darts sent me one to review. I then bought the second one because I liked it so much I wanted a second one, and because they're on sale. Out of Darts is overstocked on them, so they're selling them basically for cost. I think it's $125 to get one of these. And like I said, that's fully wired, fully set up, ready to go with a magazine. It's an amazing deal. So grab one while he's got them, and then they're still overstocked, so they're cheap. As far as the battery, that was the other reason that I went ahead and ordered a second one, is I didn't have a good battery for the one that I had, and I wanted to get a better battery, one that fit better. And so I got his Turnergy 2200 3S battery. He's got a bunch of 2200 batteries, all with different discharge rates. The one that had the really high discharge rate, which is the one I kind of wanted, I think he's got one that's like a 75C discharge rate. Those are out of stock. This one also works perfectly good because these 130 motors aren't particularly high current. They're decent, but not like Kraken or Fang revamps. If you wanted to run 6 Krakens or 6 Fang revamps in this, you would probably definitely want to get the 70C version. But this one works just fine in this. I definitely am not having any problems with having enough current, which is really, really cool. And like I said, the battery housing is huge. Once upon a time, I would have thought that a 2200 battery was going to be too big to ever fit in anything, and this fits in there perfectly. And you still have room for all of your wiring, and you still actually have room for a battery alarm if you want to. So Worker, once again, showing that they absolutely know what we are about and what we want and what we need, and tailoring their build to that. I'm constantly further impressed by how well Worker understands our hobby and our market. So very, very cool. So my thanks to Out of Darts for the first one, my thanks to Out of Darts for the second one, and I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Links to his stuff will be down in the description. I will link the blaster, I will link the battery, and then just his website. Tinker around, find what you want. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.